What's going on, guys? Samba and the Stars here. We're back again with another episode. So, my name is John. We got Pedro, Jared, and our host, Chris. Everybody say what's up.
What up? How you guys doing?
Hi guys.
So Chris, what's on the agenda for us today? I know there's been a couple friendlies that were just played ahead of the World Cup, and it's kind of a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I think what we're here to really talk about is that Brazil against Egypt game, and I think although we won, there's a lot of things to talk about. Game right before the World Cup. World Cup is in 2 days from now, at the time that we post, which is Tuesday. So
We sound very excited, guys. Come on.
So
go.
exciting.
yeah,
Energetic. Let's go.
yeah. So without further ado, let's get right into it, right, guys? Come on,
Let's do it.
come on, guys. Yo, Jared, come on. All right. So Brazil
There we
won
go.
2-1. What was it? 2 days ago. Brazil won 2-1 2 days ago.
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts on the game, guys? What do you think about the result? It was another game where it was two stories, two halves, two stories. We replaced everybody, so that's kind of obvious. But I want to start off with John. What did you think about the game, dude?
Well, I just want to ask you guys: Can we agree that Bruno played better in a three-man midfield? I personally thought he did.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's a good take.
I think Igor Thiago played awful. I mean, a lot of the times, me and Pedro, we were sitting at the bar in the first half, and the game kept freezing. But I didn't think Vinny played bad. Me and Chris were talking before the pod started, and he said he thinks Vinny had a worse game than Rafinha, which I don't think so. I think Rafinha had a worse game. Marquinhos, I think he made a mistake. I'm pretty sure Casemiro was supposed to be there on that. It seems like they practiced that in practice because Marquinhos kind of looked at Casemiro, and Casemiro was kind of like, oh, fuck, I think I was supposed to be there. And Ancelotti didn't look too happy. But besides that, I think ENDRICK played a great game. Paquetá didn't do anything special. Igor Thiago, I think, played god-awful, and Casemiro wasn't anything too great either.
So let's start off with just one point of the game. A great win for us. Honestly, Egypt they're a tough team. Whether we like it or not, they're at the World Cup. I think every Brazilian expects when we play like quote unquote smaller nations. I think we all expect Brazil to win by 3 or 4 goals. We have Pedro here who's going to pull up a clip of Igor Thiago real quick, if you don't mind. We're just going to talk about Igor Thiago. This was the first half. This is just one of the plays that occurred during this first half where we dominated Egypt. Honestly, I think we could have scored 5-6 goals the first half. Go ahead, play it real quick.
So as we see here, just watch the clip.
Who played him in, by the way?
Let's
Who
go.
played him in, by the way? That was beautiful.
Rafinha. Or no.
No, that was
Bruno?
No, that's
that was
Bruno.
Yeah, that's Bruno. So Bruno plays him in. Dude, that was an amazing pass by Bruno. And adding on to what John was saying, he did have a much better game. I'm not sure if it was because of the three-man midfield. I'm not sure it's because he's coming back from injury. He does play a three-man midfield at Newcastle, so that could be why. It's something he's more used to. And then, yeah, in the clip we also see how well-positioned Igor Thiago is. I think this play also starts by who is also pulling the players in. I'm not sure who that is. That? Yeah, that's Paquetá. Yeah, that does look because Cunha didn't start. So Paquetá pulls in this guy, I'm pretty sure that's 24. And so Igor Thiago was already facing towards goal. But as I mentioned when I was watching the game, let's just watch it one more time.
That's a good save, though.
No, 100%. That was a great save. But I think a Premier League striker, I think the second highest scoring Premier League striker, the highest scoring Brazilian in the Premier League, should know how to take a touch with his back foot. So you see here how he has 2 different ways to take a touch. He can either take a touch with his front foot, in this case being his right foot, or his left foot, this being his back foot. If he takes a touch with his back foot, the ball will be square towards the goal. So
Do me a favor.
see how he see. Yeah,
Pedro, sorry.
What's up?
Go on the settings thing on bottom right and then play it like slow motion, like points.
You know who
Yeah,
would have
playback
scored this? You know who would have scored this? João Pedro. Yeah, boy.
No, so what I'm showing here, guys, is this is I'm pretty sure, like, the reason why I think Igor Thiago didn't have that good of a game, and I agree with the guys, is because this is a fundamental, I think, for any forward. This is stuff that, me, like, I'm also, I guess, in the hustle trying to chase a professional contract, and this is stuff that any forward should be able to do. And me being a forward, this is something I spent a lot of time on practicing, and then me seeing that the highest level of players, World Cup degree players for one of the greatest national team of all time, can't do a fundamental. In this case, not trapping, but controlling the ball with this back foot so it goes parallel to the goal. But instead, he touches it with this forefoot, which is technically easier. But he touches it with the part of his foot where there's less surface area, and so what happens is the ball takes a different angle and it also bounces, which causes him to delay a little bit. And look at the angle that is instead. Look at how much, like, as much as the goalkeeper, he's positioned like all right. This is one of the, I think, 3 scenarios, or 2, at least 2, because he did this against Panama as well, which he had a clear-cut chance, but because he decided to take a touch with his forefoot, he ended up wasting the chance. So then we look, and look how unprepared he was to take that shot. Look at just, like, I don't know, the way he, like, I guess he, like, reached in too much for it. The ball wasn't at the perfect distance, and then that's what causes that shot to happen, which wasn't a good shot.
So one thing I want to talk about in terms of Igor Thiago, I think it's very clear now within the last 2 games, even though he had I would say for our standards, a good game against Panama, but he cannot dribble, he cannot take a touch with his left foot, and that's concerning as a top striker. And this is a striker that most likely will bang 3 or 4 goals at the World Cup and get a big money move, and he's gonna end up being a flop. Honestly, he's already like in talks. He's already in talks to getting a bigger move. He was the second highest goal scorer in the Premier League. You know what I mean? So he's not going to stay at Brentford.
It's not by chance, exactly. He's a great striker.
Wait, hold on. You think he's going to score 3 or 4 goals in this World Cup?
For sure.
You never know.
In terms,
he definitely can.
In terms of penalties, like, so Vinicius won a penalty against Egypt. It just wasn't given at the World Cup. That's going to be given because of VAR. That being said, well, there was VAR against Egypt. I don't know why they didn't go to VAR. Just back to the Igor Thiago thing for 1 second. Igor Thiago, a striker that, we kind of fell in love with, a guy who showed a lot of passion and, effort, and a guy who actually wants to be there. But if we wanted a guy like that, why didn't we call up Richarlison if we wanted a guy who gives everything? Yeah. He's a guy who would have scored that goal for sure.
I think Igor Thiago has like really good positioning. Like
that's fine.
Earlier. I don't think he's like a great like tactical player, but positioning he's like insane. Like he literally said in one of his interviews, like how he scores so many goals. He literally prays to God, to like God like tells him where to go, and he goes, and the ball just somehow lands there.
That's a very interesting take, because as somebody who has played forward a lot, there's a very popular quote that goes by, especially when you're talking about strikers with a profile like Igor Thiago. It's forwards rely on faith. Like, unlike defenders, unlike defending, unlike being a midfielder, and like being a winger when you take on players, I think a great example of that, wearing this jersey was Ronaldo's goal against Spain in the Nations League. How that ball ended up falling to him perfectly for him to score that goal. And that it gets to a point where it's a skill, like it doesn't happen by chance. It's not luck that Ronaldo scored over 30 goals in the span of over 10 years, so the being in the right place at the right time is always going to be a very, very valuable skill to have. And that's why we've seen that every single national team at the World Cup has a sort of poacher striker. We thought the number 9 position died in like the early 2020s, like the earlier this decade, with City playing with the false 9 and so on and so forth, and it hasn't, and it will never die, because you need a reference point sometimes. And I think Brazil lacked that in the first half against Panama. Not as sure as against Egypt in the second half, but I'm saying, like, when you look at, like, I think I've mentioned this previously too, Borja Iglesias for Spain, Mateta for France, and now we have our Mateta, which is Igor Thiago, and so on and so forth. And I mean, I have like one more clip here that I can show, and it's not even, I don't even think it's the clip I had in mind, against Panama, but of just that same mistake. So this is you guys can see my screen perfectly, right?
Oh,
Alright, perfect.
I remember this shit.
Yeah. So, all right, no, this clip is pretty good. Okay, yeah, he's obviously a very, very hungry striker, you know, to press and everything. This clip right here. So let's turn that playback speed a little less. All right. So we see here he's in a very, very good position to score. If he takes that touch with the right foot, the touch goes the perfect distance. He has a clear-cut chance of either scoring with his left foot or even with his right foot. You know, if he decides to cut inside or if he decides to play a one-touch pass here. But look at the touch he takes. It's the same exact touch that he took against Egypt. It's the touch with his forefoot, which is technically easier, and he doesn't let the ball come to his back foot. And this is a very, very fundamental thing for, not just for strikers, but for any position on the field. You know, you need to learn how to not only pass the ball, but you also really need to learn how to receive it. And that's why the best players we see, they're not the flashes, but they're the ones that, with 2 touches, can make a difference. They can direct their first touch perfectly. You know, I spent some time at the academy which Igor Thiago actually played at, Cruzeiro, and something that I remember, like I'll never forget, is how much they're reliant on you directing your touch to the right place in the right time. You know, even starting out at U15s, U17s, I remember watching the U17 practice and the coach was going at the players because their chest touch, you know, something that is challenging to the normal person, wasn't directed towards the right way. You know, they received the ball here, but the coach wanted them to turn this way. So they wanted them to turn over 90 degrees and expecting to do that again and again. And so when I say this and when I critique Igor Thiago, it's not just saying, oh, he's a bad player, not for no reason. It's not because I don't like him, because I do like him. But it's because of something I see that he can clearly change, and that hopefully somebody at the Brazilian national team, one of the coaching staff, can see that and can run them through some drills and can run them and give him some confidence. And, you know, maybe if he fixed this touch, see like how, like look at the distance that he takes. You know, he's right next to the defender. If he takes that touch with his left foot, it distances himself from the defender first off, and he has a very big body. You need to put in his case, he needs to put the body between the ball and the defender. And then that's what causes him to be pressured during the shot here and end up wasting a very, very good chance.
I think the bigger the guy, the slower you are, but the more explosive you can also be. So I think he's good for like when Ancelotti wants to press, but besides that, I don't really see him going to be like
for headers.
I think he'll be
Crossing
I think he'll
headers.
be like a I think he'll be like an extra time guy. I think after that performance against Egypt, he lost his starting role, to be honest.
So when we talk about Igor Thiago, something that's very clear to me, especially in these, I wouldn't say against Panama because we did end up scoring 6 goals, but just a game like Egypt, or like a game like France too. Even though I don't think Igor Thiago played against France, I could be wrong, but not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make here is
I think he did, but I'll look at it. Go on.
A game like Egypt, right? I'm not worried about Ancelotti and like the defense. He's Italian, dude. He's gonna fix the defense. We're fine with the defense. Like you said,
he played.
Okay. The team who concedes the least amount of goals is gonna win a tournament, obviously. But that being said, we're gonna concede goals, and when you concede goals, you have to score back. You have to score. So when you have plays like Igor Thiago missed, it reminds me of 2022 when we missed chances against Croatia. It reminds me of 2018 when we missed chances against Belgium because we didn't get outplayed against Belgium. We didn't get outplayed against Croatia. So these sort of chances, these sort of plays, they need to be bagged.
Oh
Yeah,
100%. Look at this. Croatia
game.
had 1 shot on target the whole game. Yeah, and it was the goal. Exactly, and I mean
Off of
another
deflection
thing
too.
that exactly.
Off of
And another thing
deflection.
we might not even want to mention, but in the Brazil-Germany game, we the 7-1, we actually had more shots than Germany, but Germany just made it work in their favor. And I think a lot of the stuff that we say on this podcast, and a lot of the stuff that you guys watching, might just like talk to your friends about. The thing that amazes me about football every single time is how simple it is. Like it's cliche to the point where we're just like, yeah, we need to score more goals than the other team. But I think we get so caught up in the tactics, we get so caught up in the players and the egos and the situations and all the emotions that we forget like how simple this is. And like I said, this is why I really like Ancelotti, because he reduces the game down to its most simple thing, and he does it well. He doesn't try and do too much, because a trend I see with a lot of managers, in my opinion, the most successful Brazilian manager, Felipe Luiz, something that he did which cost him a continental title, which was the Recopa. I know I'm obviously going off track, but he tried to play two false nines with a 4-2-2 system. And so against Lanús, a team that has a way smaller budget, doesn't have as many good players, but they held their own and they played true to what they know. You know, they didn't try and invent something new. And I think sometimes that does get to our heads, because Brazil is a reference in the game. You know, we have 5 World Cups. Like I'm always gonna mention on this podcast, as repeating as it is, but the same time is, how well can we just do the simple stuff? How well can we just take a touch with the back foot, like I mentioned, instead of the forefoot, or just how well can we play with who's playing well and not just based off of names? Because I also think that's very important.
Yo,
So, go ahead, John. Sorry.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was gonna just add, like, I do think Ancelotti was literally like just testing things. Like, I think like people may say like Brazil didn't play good, they only won 2-1, but I don't know. There were some moments that I thought like there's no way like this is for real. I think they were like training something. Like in the second
Yeah.
half, they were playing really defensively. Like
Yeah, it's
it was different from the first half. They were definitely like
Yeah.
testing things, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's what these friendlies are for, just to try things. That first half we played very well, regardless of what the score was. Bro, I think a lot of Brazilians they think they see it 2-1 against a team like Egypt, and they consider it a loss. I think any win is a win, man. At this point, especially a country that's so starved after what has it been, 16 years without a World Cup. By the way, how lucky are we to like
In our
be
case?
starved? Yeah,
No, 24.
24. Jesus Christ, I'm horrible at math.
Jared, did you watch the game?
I watched the second half.
What'd you think?
I thought Brazil were fine. I do agree they were definitely testing some stuff out. Honestly, my biggest takeaway is that I feel like ENDRICK is just gonna be the starter. Like, I think there's no.
I don't
reason
I've
think
been
so.
saying this.
I don't think
He should be.
There's no reason for
He
him to
should,
not
but I don't
start.
think he will.
Igor Thiago was really bad. Cunha has just, I think, lost that spot entirely. It's got to be ENDRICK to start. That's like
So,
my biggest takeaway in these 2 games.
I actually wanted to bring something about ENDRICK and also Igor Thiago, so we'll just talk about the striker position a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next topic of the game. But one thing about Brazil, it's really been since after Ronaldo and Adriano, and maybe even you could say Luis Fabiano was the last of his kind that were a good true number 9. And since then, since 2011, 2012, we haven't had a guy. 2014, it was Fred. It was Joe. Fred was a legend for Fluminense, but never did anything with the Brazilian shirt. Then we went to 2018. Gabriel Jesus, who was a star
At the
boy.
time,
Honestly,
he was very good.
yes, but
Yeah.
he still wasn't that number 9 we needed. And then we went to 2022, and Richarlison, he had a great tournament, but again, like it was kind of obvious that he wasn't the 9 we needed. And now we're in 2026 with trying to force Igor Thiago when, in my opinion, I'll say this now and maybe get laughed at in like 6 months, but we have the next Pele on the bench. You know what I mean? We have ENDRICK on the bench when he shouldn't be sitting on the bench at all.
I agree. You know, he shares birthdays with Pele, right? That went trending, and he has like the same height as Pele.
You know,
Yeah.
you
But,
fell for that was fake
yeah.
news, bro. You fell for that.
It's fake. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised, man. Like, honestly,
But they're
I
the
didn't-
same-
I didn't even
they're the
care
same
to
height,
check it.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same
Yeah.
height though.
But let's talk about his goal. I mean, this is pretty cool. The first ball he touches, beginning of the second half, scores. So, well, it's quick analysis. I think, well, starting off with the play, I like how Rafinha drags his man out wide, and then how we have people running into that channel, like breaking the lines, running. I forget what it's called in English, but in Portuguese we say entre linhas, which means between the lines. But yeah, we see Matheus Cunha doing that movement, and then just anyways. But then here's something I like, because I haven't really watched back on this goal. Look how the team reacts after we lose the ball. he comes out of nowhere, and we react. That's what I like to see, and that's what's gonna change everything for us when we face Morocco, when we face Haiti and Scotland. Because if we can get the ball in their half, which is again it's another so simple cliche thing that like everybody should understand it, but like if you win the ball in your opponent's half, it's gonna be easier for you to score goals. You know.
One thing, quickly,
like when you do it well, it's very important.
Sorry, Pedro. One thing I was gonna say. So, in terms of you saying that stealing the ball in your opponent's half, both of the goals against Egypt were like that. Bruno Guimaraes' goal and then ENDRICK's. Back in Panama game, we had Hanya scoring from Igor Thiago stealing the ball. We had Vinicius scoring right off the bat from the exact same thing. So 50% of our goals that we scored during this little friendly break, 4 out of the 8 goals were from us stealing the ball from the opponent in their own half. I think it could even be more. I might not be remembering. Yeah,
exactly.
So it's something we.
Well, let me play the rest of the goal. So we react here, and then this is a good move by Rafinha, and just a great finish. Again, like this is something that if you're a forward, you know how hard this angle is to shoot from. I can't tell you how many times I've received the ball from this angle, and you just end up shooting the air and whiffling. You just whiffle the ball. Like this is not easy stuff. And like I said, ENDRICK has been proving himself time and time again, and I've been saying this for over a month now, ever since before the Croatia game, that he should be a guaranteed starter for the national team. Because if he was French, he would start. If he was Spanish, he would start. If he was German, if he was Dutch, yes, he would.
Start?
Yes, he would. If 19, listen. If 19-year-old Kylian Mbappe can be the number 10 for France in 2018, like he was, it's clearly because they've trusted him.
Team.
No, it's because they've trusted him. They trusted him, they nurtured him, and they made him who he is today. If they can make a 16-year-old Lamine Yamal a guaranteed starter at the Euros, an undisputed starter at the Euros, you don't think they could do that to ENDRICK? You don't think they could do that to ENDRICK?
There's no one better in their positions. I mean, for France, bro, no
and
way.
ENDRICK is an amazing striker. He's proven it time and time again. And like I said, his advantage is that no matter how well he plays, people are always going to doubt him. Like I said this the last podcast, and I'm clearly right because, like I said, this guy would start for every national team. He would start for France.
Do you guys think he would start for France?
Yes, he would. Mbappe on the left, him up top, and then we're talking to Turkey, and then Elise.
What about Ousmane Ballon d'Or?
Ousmane hasn't shown it for. Ousmane hasn't shown it for France, man. He hasn't. As of right now, and I still think he'd start. I guarantee you, if ENDRICK played for France, he would have done more than Dembele has right now. For England, he would start aside Harry Kane. He wouldn't take out Harry Kane, but he would start beside him.
In terms of ENDRICK, we're talking about a striker here who, against Egypt, scored the winner. Against Croatia, if he doesn't get subbed on, Against Croatia, if he doesn't get subbed on, we're losing an embarrassing game. Yep. A guy who scored against England in his first ever start for Brazil. No, not start. I'm sorry. I think first ever game, correct?
Yeah,
at Wembley,
he scored. Yeah.
And then he goes to
and then he goes to the Bernabeu, scores 2 goals. Or was it 2 goals or just 1?
No, he scored 1.
1 to tie it.
All right, then a guy who scored
Simone should have saved.
Oh, that's what? How could the keeper save that?
The goal he scored for Spain.
Yeah, it was deflected. There was no way the keeper's saving that, dude. Come on.
The keeper touched it.
Let's pull that out then.
The keeper literally touched it. Yo, but do you guys think ENDRICK's going to be starting on Saturday?
He should, but he won't.
Should be.
Yeah, he should be.
But you know why he won't? Because Cunha already works better.
Wait. Can you go all the way back to the beginning? Who the hell was that? Who the hell was that in front of ENDRICK?
Ayrton Lucas.
Holy shit.
Left back, yeah. Yeah, let's see this clip. I'm pretty sure this was his first touch of the game against Spain. He comes in, second game in Europe, by the way, in his career. Santiago Bernabéu packed. What a finish!
What keeper in the world?
I think
what keeper in the world saving that? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, because
So
the
look
goalie
at Richie.
instantly like
Yo,
puts his head
look
down.
at Richie. By the way, look at Richie, and now we have to deal with Igor Thiago, bro. I'm sorry, I don't care.
Richie
I know
can
Igor
lick a bag
Thiago's.
of balls, bro. For
I
all
know.
I
Igor
care.
Thiago. I know Igor Thiago's friends with Hayan ENDRICK, but bro, no keeper in the world saving that. I don't care. I don't care if he got his hand. By the way, that's a penalty. By the way,
Allison Becker's
we got
belly
robbed.
fat would save it.
We got robbed by Spain in this game. By the way, like bad. That's a pen right there.
Dude, like I said, you know how hard it is to get a shot in this angle when the ball's behind? Because like so in this situation, the easier situation would be if he's running up to the ball, not if he's sideways. And so that's why I admire this goal a lot. That's why I also admire this finish a lot, because this is something that I could try 10 times and I'd probably only get once. You know, if you give the ball, if you kick the ball or throw the ball up to me and I have to time the volley from that angle, this is not something a lot of people get, because you usually tend to slice the ball just like he did, just try and strike the ball, but you end up striking a little under, and then the ball just goes flying. And so like, look at this technique.
Yeah, bro.
And like I said, this isn't a one-off goal. This is impressive.
Wait, no, keep going, because it shows like the goalie angle. Yeah, look at the goalie, dude. He should have. I'm sorry, but that should have been saved.
That should not.
Dude, you are tripping. You are tripping.
Go up more. More.
This?
It might be that one, but I swear there's another one.
But look.
No, it's this one.
Dude,
what keeper in the world saving that, dude?
Wait, bro.
And also,
Yeah,
if there wasn't a deflection here, that was going bottom corner.
Come on, bro, guys, he started like kicking the ground.
You have to think about the fact that he's playing in slow motion. He's playing. ENDRICK has the best ball striking. ENDRICK has the best ball striking in the world.
Sorry,
in the
bro,
world.
but he's not starting on France. There's just no way.
Dude,
there's no way.
Dude,
Chris, you think he'd start on France too?
Dude, of course.
Yes.
We're talking about a generational player who. Go ahead.
Mainu started as a 18-year-old for England at the Euro final. Lamine Yamal started for Spain as a 16-year-old at the Euros against in the knockouts. I forget who they had in their group, but they won every single game of their group. They won every single game of the Euros. Mbappe did the same thing at the World Cup. No other real names come to mind right now in terms of international play as of recent. Lenny Carl is going to start at the World Cup. He got injured, unfortunately. Estevan was amazing for us. 18 years old. So is he, and he's done it time and time again. He has a better goal ratio than most of the guys on the team. He's only started 2 games for the Brazilian national team, and I just can't stress it enough. What this guy does is, he's just such a good player, because at least in this game, what he does, he doesn't score. Obviously, he creates a very good chance in the penalty. But one clip that I think a lot of people ignore that I really liked was this clip. I'm sorry, but you're telling me that, like, I'm sorry, but like a guy like this, I think this was Vuskovic. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but this is one of the best center backs in the season last year. Actually, I'm gonna check it because I really don't want to be wrong about this.
You're on the wrong game, man.
No, this was the World Cup. That's my bad. Yeah, you're right. Let me see. I was right. Vuskovic. Vuskovic was one of the best performing center backs.
What team did he play for?
He's on loan. He was on loan at Hamburg, and I think he belongs to Tottenham. Yeah, dude, he's now worth 40 million. He's one of the best center backs this season, and I just like how the center back, he prioritizes getting ENDRICK out of the way rather than going for the ball, because he knows if he goes for the ball, ENDRICK is getting around him somehow. Like, he decides to fully truck him there, because how do you stop him? It's the gravity. I mentioned this in my video, the gravity of a kid who's 19 years old, because you don't expect players to flock towards one guy to specifically target him. Because like I say, when you, like, I mean, most of our audience is probably Americans, but the few Brazilian Americans that there are here, if you guys have ever played with a lot of Brazilians or only Brazilians, you'll notice one thing if you play very well. You score a goal, okay, they don't say anything. You score another goal, and you start going off. You know what happens? They start targeting you, Each person, one by one. And sometimes it'll get to the point where they don't even go after the ball. They just want to stop you. You know? And so, like, they don't care. They don't care because it will hurt their egos if you keep scoring. And so this is something that they did to Endrick as soon as he came on because they know the impact that he can make.
That wasn't
and
a
they
pen,
do it
by
again
the
in the
way.
pen.
That wasn't.
John,
let's watch the
John,
replay.
are you Brazilian or what?
There's no
John, are you
contact.
Bro,
Brazilian
I'm
or
sorry,
what?
There's
bro.
no
I'm sorry.
contact.
Dude, yo, boys,
I'm
zip
sorry.
it up when you're done, please. Zip it
No.
up when you're done.
No.
And don't and swallow it.
No.
Like
No.
he's
Let's
good,
watch
guys.
the replay. Let's
He's
watch
good,
the replay.
but not like you guys are glazing, bro.
No, you don't understand, John.
Do you think he should start at the World Cup? Do you think he should start over?
This is a clear. By the way, this is a clear penalty. By the way, there's no contact.
Are you
on the
asking me, Jared?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Do you think he should start over?
Bro, it's difficult to say because I think Cunha meshes in better with Rafinha and Vinny's play style, and Ancelotti has already said he's building the team around Vinny and not fucking Endrick. So yes, if he was,
I don't know
if he,
I
I don't think Cunha's been better. I think Cunha plays better alongside Rafinha and Vinny. That's
So-
because he's within
Ancelotti's
the
building
Can
the
I-
team
dude,
around.
and Endrick isn't.
So
Because what?
could I really quickly? So we're gonna go to the next segment real quick. Pedro, if you don't mind pulling up the FootMob squad builder real quick. So we have to talk about the big news out of Brazil camp. This has to do with what we're talking about, by the way. Wesley out of the World Cup, grade 3 injury, out for the World Cup. He's back in Rome already. Who did we call up instead? We called up Ederson, a midfielder. So we called up a midfielder for a right back. What does that mean? I think Pedro. I think you can talk about that for me. I don't think it takes a genius to know what that means.
So I think a lot of people do expect that, or one thing that I didn't really pay attention to, but they expect this position to be held by Mr. Fabinho.
Ooh, I actually
I
like
don't-
that.
So
I do like that.
I don't know how to feel about that because, well, one thing is true. Fabinho did play as a right back early in his career. If we take a look at his transfer market, I'm pretty sure they should have highlighted the fact that he has played that position
Marquinhos did
before.
too.
Yeah. See, right back is an all other position. I'm pretty sure they also specify how many games he has played.
I think you have to
in
click on
each
the right
position.
back.
He played
I'm not
every
sure.
game in Monaco at right back basically.
Exactly, and so yeah, I think it's good to have this players that are varied like Fabinho, like Cunha and like Neymar and so on and so forth. But I'm not sure. You know, I think I would take him over Danilo, but again, it's like, you know, let's see what they come up with for that first game against Morocco.
So in my idea in my head, and I think also in Ancelotti's head, is to put Ibanez at right back, and the system changes a little bit with Wesley out because Wesley was actually this might be like Militão was already a huge loss. Wesley might be a bigger loss than like people expect because what the plan was with this exact squad. This is the squad we played with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what we had was. We had Paquetá coming in from the right and taking in that middle space, and we had Wesley coming up top, and we formed a line of 3 with Douglas Santos, Ibanez, and Douglas Santos. Now, I believe, with that being said, I believe Ancelotti's still going to do something like this. However, it's going to be a little bit different now. So what he'll do, if you don't mind opening a new builder whenever you get a chance, yeah. So it's gonna be Ibanez, Marquinhos, Gabriel.
Oh, shit. What the fuck, bro? It keeps opening the predictor. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, what you were saying?
So we're gonna have Ibanez.
Let's put in the current one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Ibanez.
switch
Right
Ibanez
back.
and Wesley. Yeah, and then we're gonna have Gabriel in that position, obviously. Or you could put Bremer too. It doesn't really matter, but it'll be Gabriel.
I think I would put Bremer. As of right now, I'll do that. Because Gabriel's left-footed, Bremer's right-footed, and Marquinhos hasn't been showing up. But anyways, digress.
Well, yeah, Marquinhos has to be there because he's our captain. We'll talk about what happened in that game earlier too. And so what happens now is it's gonna still be a back 3. I think Ancelotti's idea is to just have 3 guys just sitting there in the back defending, and then having 7 guys up top attacking. That being said, Casemiro is obviously not gonna attack, but so Casemiro will be he's gonna be like that, and then we have 6 guys attacking. That being said, For me, it's gonna be Guimarães and Paquetá because they have connection together. I would start Danilo over Casemiro actually, and then play Guimarães as a 5. But
Yeah.
and then so Guimarães will be
play
the 5,
Guimarães.
and then yeah, and then Paquetá also in the middle. So could you switch real quick, Paquetá and Rafinha real quick if you don't mind? So this is basically our team in the attack. Vinicius is going to be playing left striker. Now Igor Thiago lost his spot. I think that ENDRICK will end up being the starter, but I think right now it's going to be Cunha. You could put ENDRICK just because that'd be my
Or this. I think this is very
or
interesting to
Cunha.
look at.
Yeah.
Like this.
That being
because,
said,
you need to play who performs well. Simple.
That's just so offensive, though.
so
It's
no,
so
yeah.
shit defensively. Poop fetish.
No, it's not. It's not shit defensively because you have two of the best center backs in the world waiting for any counterattack, and you have two runners in Paquetá and Danilo who are going to track back. You have Cunha who's also going to be very good defensively, and you have Bruno who's also solid defensively. That being said, this is not a realistic squad because Casemiro will start in place of Guimarães, and then Danilo is basically out, unfortunately. Danilo will be a super sub for us. I've come to understand that a little bit, and that's fine. So if we're doing a realistic squad, this is what our squad's going to look like, guys. This is what... Now, I think that Rafinha goes in for Cunha, and then what happens is when Neymar gets healthy for the game against Haiti, Neymar goes in the position of Paquetá. So I think yeah, or that works as well. That does work as well. But what you were going to do does work as well.
Bro. Where's Rafinha?
Bro.
I think something that Brazil did very good last game when we were defending. Let me just pull that team up as it was here. Is I've actually been running this a lot on FIFA, so it's pretty funny. Like when I play seasons, but I really like the 4-4-2 just because it's such a solid balanced formation. You know, like we see it's pretty much a 4-2-3-1. Just you put these guys side to side. So I think this is exactly how we lined up. One thing that I like during the high press is you leave Casemiro isolated here, and then you put Guimarães up here to play as a box-to-box with Casemiro as a holding mid. And then wherever corner or the team goes, if the ball is here, the team can press in that way with Wesley obviously going up a little bit or like this, how you learn how to do, like, how to mark. You know, this is a team that knows how to press off when they lose the ball, and it's a very good skill to have. You know, that's how we've won the World Cups in the past. You know, the story of how Ronaldo shared that the Filipão, our coach, told him that every time he loses the ball in the first 5 seconds, he had to try and win it back. And so that's very good to remember here, especially because that was a winning team. But this is what led to their first goal. You know, Guimarães pressing a little higher, not pressing side to side with Casemiro. And you know what? Let's pull up that goal just for reference sake, because you know there are some people who might have not watched the game and might be watching the podcast. But let's see here. All right, I think it was very well orchestrated. I truly think that the best teams in the world, they not only know what they're doing, but they know how to manipulate what the opponent does. And so a very good pressing team.
PSG.
I think we've seen with PSG in Europe, exactly. That's what I was going to mention. And I think Brazil could be the equivalent to that in international play. Now, let's find...
Barca, too. Barca likes that sort of
Yeah,
gameplay.
exactly. Barca is a very pressing-heavy team now. But look here. So we have this... Does it start... Where does it start from? It starts... All right, so it starts from them... Pick one. It starts from them restarting play. Igor Thiago here trying to take this lane out. This lane is obviously open, but the goalie's not going there. It's very dangerous. And he tries to go right down the middle. And where we see that, similar to that shape, we see Thiago here, Vini here, Rafinha on that left. And then this was Guimarães, and this was Paquetá. So, like I said, we see that... let me pull it up once more. We see this shape instead. See how they're very compact. See how, like, you know, obviously, for the 4-1-3-2 instead. And so that's what leads to this goal being scored. And I think that's a very, very good role for Guimarães to have, because at Newcastle he plays more freely. He plays not as a center defensive midfielder, but as just a box to box because Tonali covers that role.
So when just to finish off with that Wesley getting cut, when we talk about Ederson getting called up, is it a guy who deserved the call up? Possibly. I don't believe so. But what it shows is Ancelotti's okay with admitting
who
he's
had
wrong.
Juve called up?
Yeah, like who else?
Who would I have called up?
No, I'm not saying it sarcastically. Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just to see what you think.
So I think Danilo, Santos, and Paquetá and Bruno kind of all can play the same role. So I would have also called up a midfielder, but I'll get to my point of why I think Ancelotti knows he was wrong, and that's why he called up Ederson. I would have called up Bruno Bidon, even though he wasn't in the 55
What
man
about
list. I don't think he
it's
was.
a very
but
niche pick.
What's the Beraldo? I think Beraldo would have been great. If he was on the list.
Beraldo also could have, because he could also play left back too. That being said, the reason why he called up
He's
Ederson, he
left-footed,
realized that.
So we already have Loper and Gabriel.
Yeah. Sorry, you're talking about Bremer, right?
But what's your reason?
Not Bremer, Beraldo.
No, I'm talking about. Yeah. Anyways, you were saying?
In terms of Ederson getting called up, I think Ancelotti realized he's wrong. He only called up what was it, 5 midfielders?
5, yeah.
And what these two friendlies have shown us is we cannot run the 4-2-4. It's never a 4-2-4 actually, but we just call it a 4-2-4. You can't run a 2-man midfield. So he realized that, and he fixed that against Egypt. And so now when you have a guy like Wesley get injured, you have an option. Ibanez, who, by the way, had an excellent game, one of the best center back games Brazilians had in a very long time, actually. He can play that right back position, and so you have to call up another guy to back up that midfield, because if you have a guy like Paquetá or Bruno go down, you're done. You're done in the midfield. Like that could be the tournament over. So I think Ancelotti realized his mistake. He's fixing it now. I think another mistake that could bite him is calling up Danilo just for veteran and captaining reasons when you're a Ibanez injury away from him starting a World Cup game, which is just not good for anyone. He doesn't even start at Flamengo. So, yeah, I think we can move on from that topic. I don't know if anyone wants to add anything
real quick.
Yeah.
I think a good reason why Ederson got called up instead of other options is the guy's thought about where he's played. I think that's very, very important. He's played in Italy, and who knows Italy better than pretty much anybody? Ancelotti. And so I think that pairing is a very good pairing. This is a guy who knows how to play the defensive midfielder role. He knows how to play the box-to-box role. Let me just share it again real quick.
That's a solid point. I like that, actually.
He has, like, I've been just looking while you've been speaking, but look at his heat map. He's all over the British. He's all over the gaff. This is a guy who knows how to cover a very, very big length of the field, because when you play in this 3-4-2-1 formation, it makes it so the two midfielders here are responsible for occupying a ton of space, because these guys usually tend to open up a bit more, especially marking fullbacks, or they can also close more. But these guys, they have to. Something that Ederson, I remember him being good at, is being the first man to receive the ball when we play it short. And so that's something that's going to be very useful to have here. And he's someone who can also, like I said, he's a box to box. He covers a lot of pitch. So I think it was a good pick.
Yeah. One other thing about Ederson before we move on. This guy, he played at Fortaleza, I believe, and also Corinthians.
Yeah.
So he's played in Brazil for a while. He's used to the heat. If you're ever in Fortaleza, you know how hot it gets there. So
Play for Cruzeiro
this tournament,
don't forget my team,
Yeah.
Cruzeiro.
yeah. So this tournament's going to be physically demanding, and you need midfielders who
100%.
can sustain that. Let's
Can
move
press
on
high,
here.
because that's what we want. Yeah.
Let's move on here. We talked about the 2 goals Brazil scored. We have not talked about the goal Brazil has conceded. So, Pedro, if you'd like to pull up that one clip I have. Now, I'm going to die on this hill. A lot of people on Twitter especially disagreed with me. I'm going to die on this hill that even though Marquinhos was in the wrong, but this goal completely falls on Casemiro. And so why does it fall on Casemiro?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the translating is just, this means that these are free options, and so when we look at the defensive midfielder or midfielder, decision making is top priority, and especially when you're looking at the World Cup and a guy who likes to play in the midfield alone, this is very important. So Casemiro obviously tries to go for the risky pass here, which I do see, because I think playing with Kobe Manu at Manchester United is something I saw a lot of times. Is Kobe likes to attack the space a lot. He's a very aggressive midfielder, and that's why I really like him. And I think he should also start for England. But when we play it at the international level, you need to know who you're playing with. And maybe Bruno Guimaraes is not as fast. Maybe he's just getting back, and so the pass just doesn't end up working out. Or I saw the vision, but the fact that the speed of the pass and so on and so forth.
Yeah, could you go back real quick? For me, what I see, go back real quick. Go back to as soon as he like.
Graph, yeah.
Is he looking at that
This?
space where he passed it to? Is he looking at the space where he passed it to? I could be wrong. I don't think. Just play it from the beginning.
Nah.
No, he just
didn't-
kicked
so
it.
he just-
Dumbass.
So
he tried to know
he already
because maybe
that's
he
already
thought that he was gonna come back.
yeah, but that's already a huge fatal error. Now that's fine. The ball goes to Marquinhos, so play it just a little bit more. So Marquinhos here. So yeah,
He doesn't scan
pause it
his
real
man
quick.
here, which is very important.
So Marquinhos has the option of going to was that Wesley still on the pitch? But Wesley's he's gonna get tightly marked here. So Marquinhos has no other option other than going back to the goalkeeper or going back to Casemiro, where Casemiro has been playing that role against Panama. He played the exact same way. He comes down when we're resetting. He comes down and covers at that spot where Marquinhos is covering Wesley. Casemiro has been falling down into that empty space, and this time he doesn't. And so there was actually, yeah, and you not even looking behind you just to make sure that attacker's not making a run towards the ball is just also another fatal error.
Bro,
I'll tell you something.
Nico predicted that. Look at that.
Yeah.
He was running like Casemiro just wasn't reactive enough.
Yeah. And yeah,
Yeah, Casemiro's fault. Get out my team.
You know what? I'll bring a different perspective to this. When you're a Champions League winning center back, 2 times winning Champions League, and let's say I'm a center back, and I see this, something also which is taught is a fundamental for defenders, is that if you're out wide here, don't pass it back to the keeper. Don't pass it back. It's a very risky pass because of what just happened, because nobody expects it to happen, and the striker is always going to press that pass no matter what. If that pass actually ended up happening, what this guy was going to do, he was going to press this channel so that they don't go back to Marquinhos. So regardless, they were going to press the pass. Now, I like how his movement. He thought he was going to pass it to Wesley, and he was so determined that he was going to pass it to Wesley that he was already running that way, even though Marquinhos was facing the other way. Why doesn't Marquinhos put his foot on top of the ball and turn around? I think that's a different perspective. I think he had a lot of space and time to do it because he was so predetermined that he was going to go this way, this forward. I think this is obviously a lot of Casemiro's fault because he didn't scan, but I also think that, I mean, both of these guys should have top level awareness because of what they won. Who am I to talk? But I just think that this is a case that, obviously, looking back on it, they might have thought the same thing. In the moment, of course, it's different. But I think this is a place where they could have turned around and started play from there. And then if he felt like he was getting pressed, then don't overthink it. I think something that happens a lot these days is center backs are always trying to play through the ground. If you are getting pressed, if you feel pressed, kick the ball. I'm sorry. I know it's ugly. I know it doesn't look good. I know maybe it's not what you want. Maybe it's not what the manager said. But something that you always need to have is the famoso chutão. Just the big kick. Just something to get the ball out and just restart play. Because it's much better, like I say, the simplicity of football. It's much better losing the ball in your opponent's half than your own. And so what he did with this pass is he's risking losing in his own half.
So I agree. So at the end of the day, it is Marquinhos' fault, but the play should never have happened to begin with because of this. Obviously,
2 bad passes.
Yeah.
Casemiro's back there, right? Unless the striker does press Casemiro in the back, like, he still leaves whoever the other center back is open, right? So, again,
It's good.
it is on both of them.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's a mistake that probably are okay with because it happened in a friendly, and that just builds chemistry
Yeah.
between
At least ENDRICK saved the day, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so these are mistakes that have to happen in friendlies because now you have to be perfect for what, 8 games? So
Yeah.
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 So we'll move on. One last topic about Brazil before we move on to. We'll do a little recap on USA Germany too. But one other thing I wanted to share with you guys. I think you guys all saw Neymar MRI results came back pretty positive. He's on track to return. Won't be playing the first game, but is on track to start against Haiti. So, do you guys have like big expectations for that game? Is that a game you guys can see another 6-2, or will it be more of a tighter game? Because Haiti did just beat New Zealand 4-0.
I don't think we're gonna like go that hard. It'll be like 4-0.
We have, yeah, I don't know. It's a hard you say, it's a hard prediction because like playing against Caribbean teams and African teams, and it's either a 6-0 or it's a tough 1-0, or it could even be a 0-0. I will never forget when we tied 0-0 against Costa Rica in the Copa America. That was insane. You know that
We lost to
that's
Cameroon too.
in the World Cup. You mean?
Yeah, we lost to Cameroon.
In the World Cup,
1-0.
yeah, I guess, because we played our second team there, but like I'm just talking about like we played against Costa Rica. Let me pull it up just so you guys know what I'm talking about. For those of you watching, 0-0 game. You know, we played against a pretty much a 5-3-2 system here, and we played with our best team. You know, at the time, Marquinhos, Militão, Rodrigo, Paquetá, and so on and so forth. And like I said, this also plays into why we chose a guy like Igor Thiago to be called up as much as he doesn't have the certain fundamentals. When we're talking about a guy with this profile, he's the best we have, and we could see here because in the game where we need somebody who is physically gifted to challenge the area. That's the Haiti game is a game where he might be very useful, you know, for crosses and for misplaced balls inside the 6-yard box. That's what he's best at. And that's what we lacked in this game, and that's why we ended up just not getting a good result out of it. But
Can we talk about how?
as I say, just very important.
Can we talk about how Aranha and Danilo might be the worst fullback duo I've ever fucking seen for Brazil? That is horrible.
Aranha's best wasn't that bad. He won the Olympics.
No.
Yeah,
bro, Aranha post ACL, the worst fullback I've ever seen, bro. He shouldn't have gotten called up for that Copa America. That being said, let's move on because I do want to give a prediction for our first game this Saturday. I want to move on. Jared, this is your time to shine, bud. John, did you have anything to say real quick?
Wait, yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys, did you guys see Rafael Leao punching that guy? Bro.
amazing.
He should be suspended. He should be suspended for like a World Cup game, but I guess friendlies don't count, right?
But,
So-
he's going to leave Milan, and
It
I
wasn't
think...
FIFA's game technically. So.
Yeah, but he's going to leave Milan, and I think that's going to really affect him, like, his, like, transfer. Like, bro, no one in the Premier
maybe.
League wants a guy like that on their
Maybe.
team.
That is
Again, like it's either there's no mid like thing. It's either they really would want him now or they just don't want him even. Yeah.
I thought he would go to Arsenal, but after that, I don't think Arsenal wants him anymore.
Ah,
Really?
yeah. Guy that
Where do
doesn't
you
track
think
back.
he'll go?
Guy that
Where do you
doesn't
think
track
he'll
back. Chelsea. He's Chelsea coded, yeah.
That is true. Him and João Pedro would fight. Alright,
All
sorry,
right,
Jared.
so let's move on. USA Germany beat you guys 2-1. I actually watched the entire game, even though I was at work. This is a time where you might get fired from your job because you're sneaking your phone to the side watching friendlies and World Cup games. So
Wow.
if I get fired, Jared, you actually might have to put me onto a job. But that being said, Jared, what did you think about your guys' game against Germany? I think it's still a little bit of a confidence boost going into the World Cup.
I already have it up if you don't have it up.
Bro, you have your own PC. Nah, I'm playing.
I got it.
All right. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess first things first, right? A lot of people are taking this result pretty positively. I think we kind of did. The stats show that we did dominate them. Not dominate them. That's not true. That we did dominate possession. We did get more shots, and we had the same amount of shots on target. But realistically, I'm pretty annoyed about this performance. First off, Miles Robinson, our center back, might be the worst center back in the World Cup. I'm not even joking. He is so bad. Germany scored pretty early on, the second minute, and just let Kai Havertz wide open. He's absolutely horrible. Miles Robinson is one of the worst center backs I've ever seen play football. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what Pochettino is doing. Just keep calling up these MLS guys. Not against the MLS players, but I'm not against the MLS guys. But Miles Robinson, this guy hasn't been good for 4 years, and he's never been good for the United States. This guy offers nothing. He's absolutely horrible. That being said, he did play for a actual local club, which is pretty funny here. So he's somebody.
Wait, who?
Miles Robinson. He played for the Boston Bolts. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check that. Yeah, it's a team that's.
Wow, what a chirp! That's a crazy chirp.
Would you pick yourself over him to play for the U.S. men's national team?
Any four of us.
What about me?
No, I'm talking about you, Jared.
Yeah, Miles Robinson just gives me the biggest headache in the world. Because
you would start over Miles
stop breathing into your mic, Chris, bro.
I would. Am I better than Miles Robinson? I'm not saying I am, but what I am saying is, I'm not letting Kai Havertz that easy.
Yo, how did McKinney play? Did he play good?
He was actually fine.
Pulisic?
I was gonna go roast Tim Ream next. Tim Ream is 40.
37, I think. Yeah, but close to 40.
38. He's so
way off the bench.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna be a right wing back. Tim Ream is 38 years old, and he is so bad physically that he just can't keep up. And Tim Ream, all he's good for is he's okay on the ball now, but he is so slow. I think he might be the slowest player I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not even joking.
So let me take you away. Let me take you away from your rant real quick. I think one takeaway I get from this game, especially.
Yo, turn your mic a little down, down a little more, just a little bit.
Is it crazy? I don't know what I did.
That was good.
I don't know what I did. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Resume.
That being said, I think one thing that I take away from this game, Germany aren't that good at all, and with Leonard Carl being out for the World Cup, they just get even less scary. I think Germany are a team that get knocked out in the round of 16, round of 32, depending on
round of
where
16 France.
Yeah, I mean wherever. I think even a smaller nation like even a Paraguay could knock him out in a World Cup format. When I was watching this game, United States, they conceded early, and they fought back with an absolute banger from Anthony Robinson. Beautiful goal, by the way. It was actually crazy limbs. It was crazy limbs for me. I think I saw a tweet saying that I think some Americans thought it was the first World Cup game, and I mean I wouldn't even doubt it because
there's at least 1,000 people in the stadium that think so.
Yeah.
That is a pretty funny tweet.
After the goal, they picked up a lot of momentum, and USA were actually outplaying them for the rest of the half. So he scored in the 36th, 37th minute.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they dominated the rest of the half. I don't know what happened at halftime.
I mean, I would even say from when the goal when Anthony Robinson scored that goal to when Germany scored their goal, you would say we're kind of on top.
Well, I disagree because at a halftime, you guys played completely different, in my opinion. Like, I don't know what happened during the halftime talk because you guys kept the same team, you guys kept the same format for a little bit,
Yeah.
and I think some subs happened before Germany had scored the second. Correct?
The biggest problem with the lineup for me, which I was going to get onto, was we started Tillman and Tyler Adams in a double pivot, and they were like Germany were going through us like how 1,000 men went through Bonnie. Like
Whoa.
they weren't even trying that hard, by the way. Like you said it.
That's a
yourself.
clip. That was crazy.
Germany wasn't very good, and they were kind of just going at us. They would make one or two passes in their passes, and I think a lot of people were saying that Tyler Adams didn't play well, and he really did. Tyler Adams one of the worst players on the field, but it didn't help that Tillman was his partner in that double pivot. And
Tillman's very offensive, yeah.
yeah, Tillman's an attacking midfielder, and then I understand starting or experimenting with Weston McKennie as the attacking midfielder because that's how he's played and that's probably his best position, and that's how he's played at Juventus. But you're telling McKennie, or you're forcing McKennie to have to track back because we're getting split open, right? I was gonna say something really out pocket, but you know.
I want to hear it.
We were getting split open, right? So I think that was really worrying. I hope Pochettino sees that and realizes we should never start
Pedro.
Tillman in the double pivot ever.
Who's controlling
So-
this?
Me.
Yeah, John.
Could you go on Twitter real quick and pull up that second goal from Sane because that could be. I don't know. I don't know about Havertz. I think Sane's goal was like way easier than Havertz's goal. Dude, Sane literally walked through. Just search up Sane. That's fine. Dude, he walked. Yeah. Dude, he walked through. Turn off audio. Turn off audio. Like, bro, that is just too easy. There's no one stepping up.
But
And I understand. I understand why the keeper's so upset because, dude, that goal is just too easy. It's just way too easy.
what the fuck is he doing? So who's that? Who's that?
No, that's fine.
Yeah, Tillman's
that's
poop.
honest. No, that's honestly fine because he has to get to that. He has to get to him, right? But like Tim Ream right there has to cover that space, and then from there it's already a goal. Whatever Havertz decides to do, it's already a goal. Whatever he wanted to do, if he wanted to shoot, it was going to be a goal.
So Tim Ream needs to get there, but if you go back a little bit before, Tyler Adams is just watching it the entire time, right? He's watching it the entire time.
Him?
That's him. If you go, he needs to pick up Sane, right? He needs to pick up Leroy Sane. He lets him off it, and he's just too late. And
Lazy.
Tyler Adams yeah, he was really bad this game. It was really uncharacteristic of him. I don't know. He almost he looked off. But again, I think a part of it is that, like, he's playing.
That's
alongside-
too lazy.
It's too lazy, yeah. He's playing alongside a player that's not a defensive mid. He's not going to play in the double pivot. And look at this idiot Miles Robinson. Right where he says, and I'm going to stop my rant. I'm going to go after Pulisic, Captain America. I'll say this: he did look lively at points. Like I'm not gonna say he was horrible, but Pulisic, I think, is the type of guy to me. He like looks in the mirror and thinks he's Superman. Like the way he
Look at him.
the way he played this game, like he was lively. He was making runs. He had some smart passes, and he was pretty lively. But he would do a nice little flick or dribble past three players, and then instead of making a decent pass, he immediately loses it. And it pisses me off because he does this. He's been doing this for like 2 years now, where he tries to play hero ball. And I'm like, bro.
All right, but let's be honest.
You're not Messi.
Let's be honest. You would want to wake up one day and like wake up in Pulisic's body and like look in the mirror naked, right? Honestly, he has so much aura.
Fears, right? He's got the arm tattoo thing.
Arm tattoo, nice hair.
Nice
Yeah.
hair. He cheated
So-
on his girlfriend. Like, life is good, right? Yeah. Dude, like, you don't need to play hero ball. You don't need to play hero ball. Like, and he was doing that from.
Yo, no gambling ads. No gambling ads. Get that off
Where
my
is
screen.
it?
Get that off my screen, bud.
Yeah, get that off my screen. Yeah.
He was doing that all game, and Pulisic just playing hero ball. And
We only do OnlyFans here.
If I see him do it at the World Cup, I might fly to California and beat the fuck out of Pulisic.
Wow.
All right.
We're not
Let's move on
threatening,
here.
we're not threatening.
I'm done.
Let's
Yo,
move on
why,
here.
why is Matt Turner not playing? My favorite. My favorite.
What do you mean he's not that
Yo,
good? Bro? What are you on? Greatest goalkeeper since
Yo.
Tim
Uh,
Howard.
Best
end screen share. End screen share, please. End screen share. If you don't
yes,
mind.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Overall, though, not a terrible performance from the U.S. though. Like there was some positives. I thought Balogun was really good. I thought the subs were okay, and we did keep up with Germany, and that's probably more than I think a lot of us expected. And there were some positive moments here and there, to be honest. So it's not all doom and gloom, and it definitely didn't. At least I would like to think it didn't demoralize the team or the United States fans either. So overall, just not a terrible performance, and not definitely didn't kill any vibes.
Alrighty. I want to move on here. We're going to do a prediction for Brazil's game, but before that, 2 days from now, we have the opening match, World Cup, at the Azteca, 3 p.m. Eastern. We have Mexico against South Africa. I want to really quickly, we're going to go...
We will be there.
Yep.
We will be there.
each-
And by there, I mean on my couch, because I don't got money to go to the game, bro. FIFA. Bro, I know you're not watching this, but make the tickets affordable, bro. I'm not paying $800 to see France and Norway, bro, from nosebleeds, man.
All right. I
I'm
want
not paying
everyone to
$1,000
give...
to see Brazil, bro. I'm not paying $1,000.
It's worth it, though. $1,000 for Brazil's worth it.
That's not worth it, bro. Dead Rose.
Nosebleeds. Watch Brazil in nosebleeds.
Dead Rose, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Nosebleeds are actually like good ass seats.
They're nosebleeds.
If you have good eyes, yeah. All right, let's get on track, boys. Let's get on track here real quick. Mexico, South Africa. Everyone, really quickly, speed run. Give your
2-0,
predictions.
2-0, 2-0 Mexico. 2-0 Mexico.
I was gonna say that, but now I can't because I'll sound.
Oh, you can though. You can.
No, I'm not. Screw you, John. I'm saying 3-0.
What were you gonna say, Jared?
I was gonna say
Now you
2-1,
can't say 2 or 3-0.
but I can't say. I'll go 2-1. I'm a hater.
Wow.
2-1 was. Oh, they're gonna say South Africa. What about you, Chris?
I think South Africa are good enough to score a goal. I think my bold prediction for this game, I'm obviously just guessing here, but I think South Africa actually score first. And I think they'll get a red card at some point in this game. And Mexico will win 3-1. So move on. We'll move on here. The game doesn't really interest us. We have probably the best game one of the groups between Brazil and Morocco. First game. This game will probably decide who gets first place, if we're going to be completely honest. Neymar obviously out for that game. So, what do you guys expect for this game now?
3-1.
Two huge... Bud, I did not ask you to give predictions, all right?
I knew it was coming though.
Speak when you're spoken to, bud, all right? No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Dead Rose.
All right, real quick.
Ooh, I'm leaving after that one.
Mazraoui and Abde, they're both injured for Morocco. They're two starters, I believe. So that's actually good news for Brazil. No disrespect, I don't wish injuries on anyone, but I think Brazil have a good chance in this game. What are you guys' predictions and like any of the comments on the game at all?
Low scoring.
So Sorry, can you say that again? What'd you ask? Just want to make sure I heard that right.
Forget about
I
it, bud.
think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a low scoring game though. I wouldn't be surprised if Morocco keep that same pattern that they did in the last World Cup, where most of their games are 1-0, 2-0, 1-1, and so on and so forth. I think we could see a 1-2-0 Brazil. I think that would be very nice, but I would not be surprised if Brazil make it to like the quarterfinals. This might be our toughest game up until then. So.
Yeah.
I also think Moroccan fans are crazy. I'm telling you, the stories, that the X timeline on Saturday and Sunday will be generational because of all the havoc between Brazilian and Moroccan fans, dude. Do you guys remember the Oh my God, hold on. Let me see if I can find the clip first, and then I'll
Morocco
screen
girl?
share. No, not no. Yeah, that was pretty funny, but dude, there's another one that I guess went viral, but it didn't go as viral, dude, and it's hilarious, bro. I don't have it. So it was pretty much when Morocco and Belgium played, and this after Morocco scored, this Moroccan fan was standing right next. Oh, right here. Let me see. I'm sorry, this is too funny. Let me see. They scored, just the way he cries in his face. Hold on. Replay.
Wait,
Wild.
am I tripping? What game was this?
Against
was
Belgium.
this was this a third place game
No,
or
they
what?
beat Belgium. No, they beat Belgium 2-0. Ziyech scored a crazy free kick, and I forget
Dude, my
who else
memory's
scored,
cooked, bro. What round was this
Spain
in?
scored? I think first, right?
Yeah, I've been kind of just having the game on the tab, but yeah, Ziyech. No, I thought Ziyech scored a goal. He curled it in, and then I think he scored a header or something crazy. But this was an insane result at the time. Everybody was expecting Morocco to bottom out the group.
Yeah.
And they ended up topping the group as well as Japan. So,
One thing,
yeah,
one
I just
thing,
think Moroccan fans are gonna bring the heat, bro.
yeah, I think one thing that people are gonna, and I might just stay off the timeline for this game, whether Brazil wins or not. Brazil's gonna play off the count. Yeah, Brazil's gonna play off the counter. Morocco will dominate possession, and we're gonna see a lot of people tweet, "Oh, Brazil fell off this that." Because we're not holding possession, but I think that's what Ancelotti wants. He wants us to play out of possession, and when the chance comes, we're gonna. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna end Morocco's gonna have 58, 59% possession, and I think people are gonna be like, wow, this that. But then you'll see the shots. It's gonna be one sided towards Brazil. I think this is a game where we're gonna have to counter them, and I think the counters will be live. Is Hakimi playing? No, right?
No, he is.
He is.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
he's good.
He should be.
Okay, so that's a big test for Vinicius. We'll see how that goes, but it's gonna be a hard, the best and the hardest game for any team in the first round of group stage. So I'm excited, man. This is kind of, and this is sorry, Jared. One last thing before you speak. I'm sorry. I'm kind of okay with us losing this game as well because it's the first game. We have 2 other games to win and to go through. And I think if we do take a loss here, it's going to be a quick wake up call because Ancelotti, whatever team he puts out, that's the team he believes will win the World Cup. That's the team where he wants to keep the same team. He's a guy who's very, a guy who likes to keep whatever he does, he wants to keep it that way. And he will insist until it works. So we'll see. I think it'll be a good thing if we lose 2. Obviously, I want us to win. I'm Brazilian, so Jared, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be honest. I was gonna say I'm seeing a lot of chatter online and people talking about this Morocco team that's really good. I'm this to me is one of those teams that I think could be a flop at this tournament. I'm not even joking.
Oh, really? You want to diss? Because you're gonna wake up to a text, or you're gonna get a text from me at Friday at 11 o'clock when Paraguay shits on the United States of America. Don't
Dude,
ever
what the,
diss.
Are you like half Moroccan? What's going on?
Yo,
Oh,
why
I
are you
thought you were
defending
just dissing
Morocco?
Brazil. No, he was
No.
dissing Brazil.
No, it's
Dude, you-
Oh, is this a Morocco?
Brother.
Oh, then congrats on the
So
win,
Jared,
USA.
Jared, one thing I'll say, Morocco, Norway, bro, Morocco did not impress me. I know Morocco scored early and they looked good early, but that's a very beatable team, and Norway is also a beatable team. I think Norway is a team where Brazil scores 4 past them. You know what I mean? So, Morocco's, but we can't look at Morocco as underdogs anymore because they have the talent, that squad,
They have everything
that
that was
11.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a top 8 team in the World Cup in my opinion on paper. So they're not underdogs by any means.
They're
that
ranked
being said,
8th. They're in the top 10.
Ranked 8th. I wouldn't go
Yeah.
that
So
high.
they, well, what I mean by all of this is that it's up to them to put it together. Will they put it together? I don't know because they don't have their engine Amrabat, who by the way maybe in like 20-30 years when I have a kid I'll tell them how good Amrabat was in
He was,
2022.
yeah.
He was an
That
engine,
run
bro.
down against Mbappe, insane. Yeah. I think every single World Cup we have the underdogs, and the thing about the underdogs is you can never predict the underdogs. And so what we're trying to do, like what a lot of people are trying to do, is we're trying to predict it beforehand, and that's not how things work. In 2014, I think that was the greatest underdog story I've ever seen, where Costa Rica gets in the toughest group I think I've ever seen with 3 World Cup winners, and they end up making it out first without losing a single game. In 2018, Croatia, obviously, I think nobody expected Croatia to make it as far as they did. Nobody expected them to top the group, and like that is what an underdog is. Nobody looked at that. Everybody looked at the Argentina's team and said they would top it. In 2022, obviously, like I just mentioned, Morocco and Japan too, because Japan topped the group with Germany and Spain.
I was sorry
And for 10 minutes, Japan and Costa Rica were going through, whereas Spain and Germany were crashing out. So that was insane. Like who would have thunk, let's say. But I think in 2026, like I say, there's more teams, so there's way more room for underdogs, and so we could get that. But one thing that I definitely don't agree with is us already calling Morocco and Japan underdogs, because they're not. Because they aren't. Because Japan has made it in their past 2 World Cups. They've made it to the knockout stages, and they literally only didn't make it to the quarterfinals because of thin margins. Against Belgium, they conceded in the last minute. Against Croatia, they went to penalties, and for Morocco, I mean, they didn't make it out in 2018 because they had a group with Portugal and Spain. In 2022, they ended up having their best World Cup to date and the best World Cup for an African team. But those 2 already don't apply. And I also don't think Norway should apply as an underdog whatsoever, because what is an underdog when you have one of the greatest players in the world right now? That being Erling Haaland. What is underdog when you have Martin Odegaard, who was the captain for Premier League winning team? Yeah, Sorloth. You have other players too. And so like I also think, I mean, this came to light, and this comes to light a lot, especially in American tournaments and in big tournaments. The PSG versus Chelsea final we had last year, where a lot of people were, Chelsea are underdogs. You're not underdogs if you spend over £1 billion. You're not underdogs if you have world-class players on your team. Underdog, I would say, you can maybe label Ecuador, because Ecuador haven't had a serious World Cup run yet, but they also do have Pacho, so like I wouldn't be surprised if they do make it far. A team I would be surprised if they make it far would be the Ivory Coast. They just beat France. Nobody expected that. So that is what I look at when we're talking about underdogs. I also think South Korea. I think Czech Republic in that Group A. I think that Group A will be very, very entertaining. I think it could go either way. Bosnia, who knows? Get out of here. Paraguay don't have any. When Paraguay don't have any big name players, but they're able to top the group, let's say, who knows? It's possible.
They're the best.
It could.
Yeah,
be.
Jared.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jared.
Yeah.
Wow, Jared,
But
careful.
speaking of Bosnia, which is really funny, I'm not sure if you guys have followed this story. Let me see if I can find it. So
While you're looking, Let
Some
me
of
say
the
this
stuff
real
I
quick.
really
Sorry,
like. Yeah, you can talk. Yeah, talk. Yeah.
my fault. I was gonna say something about
Alright,
what you brought up. In those 3 minutes that Japan was first and Costa Rica was second, can we be real? That was probably the happiest 3 minutes of our lives, honestly.
Costa Rica
let's
was
just be
first,
real.
actually.
Yeah,
You know that, right? Because they had
Bro,
beaten Japan.
for those 3 minutes, bro. Those 3 minutes, bro. That was
Yeah,
that was a
insane.
fucking yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go
Wouldn't
ahead.
have changed anything for us.
Yeah, it
But
could
it's
have.
just,
You never
it's just
know.
insane. It could have actually, yeah.
How?
Yeah,
Who would we have?
Because
Would we have played someone else?
you would have played Costa Rica. I mean, Croatia would have probably won anyways, but you never know.
never know. Yeah.
Player could have gotten injured in a different matchup. So stuff like that, it's always open to interpretation. But I think my last thought in this whole video, I mean, we're talking about the World Cup and why, no matter what because we've been seeing so much negative information about the World Cup. You know, high ticket prices, the FIFA Peace Prize winner going crazy. What else? Just like a lot of things. Yeah, high ticket prices. You know, FIFA just going off the rails and banning tailgating or this or that. I think they brought it back now, but I think this like I said, the stuff we forget because this event is in every 3.5 to 4 years. Is this, So Bosnia brought their biggest coffee pot in the whole world to St. Louis, and I guess the turnout was huge. This is some great stuff. Another account that has been going crazy on X is this German guy
Freddie,
in Georgia.
Freddie.
What's it? Yeah, Freddie LA7.
I am from Bosnia. Take me to America.
This guy. So for you guys that don't know, Freddie here, he's from Germany. He's a big Ronaldo fan, and he's traveling. He's touring the United States. And he's documenting it. And I think that the way he's going about it too is very entertaining. Where he's not obviously being very negative as some other Europeans would be. Oh, America's this, America's that. No, he's clearly enjoying it. He's documenting his whole trip. This is pretty funny. He goes to Wendy's for the first time. Yeah, I like this. This is what it's about. People coming to the country, exploring the diversity of the culture, and just making memories. I think this is going to be a tournament, like I said, where we have a lot of nations. I think the United States, when we look past the stadium problems and maybe the infrastructure because they're made for football, the American football, I think the United States is the best place to host a World Cup in terms of fan culture,
Yep.
in terms of the people who live here, because you have the biggest diaspora in the whole world. You have people from every single corner of the world. You have a very big German community as he visited a German town here, a German village in Georgia. You also have, like I said, like I mentioned the last time, I'm not sure if I could find it here in the moment, but what I meant to say, it was the Cape Verde team that had arrived, right here. In Boston and Massachusetts, where I'm from, there's a big Cape Verdean diaspora here, and so this was really cool to see, like the airport workers like hugging the players and receiving them and being very happy that they're here. And then let me see if I can also find this. I mean, it wasn't in the States, but it just shows the impact of the World Cup when we talked about last time. But when I guess I mentioned it last time, but when Turkey sent off, there was huge support for that too, and as well as like when you see where some of the teams are stationed at the World Cup, I think we can get a very cool map. I'm not sure if I can find like a specific map, because there are some countries, like I'm pretty sure Iraq. Yeah, Iraq is in West Virginia. Like I think there's another team here, if I'm not mistaken, that's in Utah. Yeah, Bosnia is in Utah. Because I mean, like maybe they've looked into it and they're big diasporas of Bosnians or so on and so forth. But I really like this. I really like this feeling. Obviously, the World Cup and we haven't seen this much hype. But it's good to it's good to get back to this. Oh, there was also this clip that went viral. I'm not sure if you boys have seen it, but it was of a Korean fan
arriving in Jalisco in Mexico, where the Korean national team is stationed, and I guess him partaking in some Mexican culture and drinking this upside down. You know, and like I said, the World Cup hasn't even started yet, and we're seeing a great taste of culture all over the place. And yeah, I'm very excited. I want to watch as many games as possible. I'm gonna go to the fan fests and just make sure to have a good time.
Yeah, I think I saw actually today. I think everyone agrees in our generation, like our age. I think everyone agrees that 2014, in terms of vibes, was the best World Cup. I actually saw a tweet today of someone taking a screenshot of people saying right before the World Cup that, oh, this is going to be the most dead World Cup, no hype for the World Cup. It's the same thing every World Cup, or right before the tournament, people are like, yo, there's no hype for this. But
same for Qatar because of the human rights, yeah.
But when it's here, when it gets here, it's a different level. With that being said, I think we should wrap up the pod here. Appreciate you guys so much. Before we go, I want us to do something. I'm gonna, on the pod right now, I'm gonna say it. I want Jared to do the same thing or do something different. Pedro, John, all of you guys. I'm gonna say right now. I'm gonna look in the camera. If Brazil win the World Cup, I'm gonna shave my hair. I'm doing it. If we win the Hexa, I'm going bald. Jared, if the USA win the World Cup, what are you doing? What are you giving up?
Yo, that's tame, bro.
What do you mean that's tame? What do you mean that's tame?
You know what I'll do if Brazil win the World Cup? I'll do the R9 haircut. That's not tame. That's real. That's some
crazy.
Real stuff. Shaving your head, I shaved my head before for nothing.
Are you promising that right now?
That you'll do it's filmed. If you do filmed. If Brazil delivered the Exa, I will get the let's say I'll do the famous, yes, like we say here, just for reference for those at home. Like I said, because you never know.
Bro.
I will do the R9 haircut. I don't care. Some people do it before the World Cup. I'll do it after. If we do win, you will see me coming on this podcast with this hairstyle.
John, what are you doing in Brazil in the World Cup? You got to do something.
Yo,
you got to promise the podcast. You got to do something, bro.
I'm not doing anything with my hair.
Like, drinking 3 eggs. 6 eggs.
Dude,
one for each trophy.
I'll do something crazy, but nothing that's gonna change my appearance.
All right, get Igor.
Yeah. Dude, I mean,
get Igor Thiago's face tatted.
I'll do something.
Dude, I'll get a Brazil World Cup champions tattoo.
That's tame.
No, that's
I don't have any tattoos. I'm like against tattoos.
Yeah,
all right, get. You have to get Igor Thiago's face tattooed.
Who?
Igor
Thiago scores in the final. If Igor Thiago wins in the final, you gotta get his face tattooed on your left butt cheek.
And you gotta show it on. You gotta show it on the pod as well.
He's gotta score in the final.
Why him? Why Igor Thiago?
He's the second coming of R9.
If he scores in the final,
I'll get the R9 haircut.
All right, well, John, we'll go back to you because you're being a lame. Jared, if the USA... by the way, hold on. USA have a low... Bro, it has to be more than that, bro. Because the USA winning a World Cup is crazy. It's crazy.
I was thinking if the USA win the World Cup, I'll get, like, that Pulis Ridge Tiger tattoo, like, an inspiration of it. I will get it the entire season.
Do it. That's fire.
Yo,
that's fire.
If the USA...
And I'm a Pulisic hater, right? But, like, if they do it, I'll get like some tattoo inspired by Pulisic, like right here. Show everybody. If the USA wins,
you just hop on the pod like that.
If the United States of America, if the Stars and Stripes win their first ever World Cup on home soil, I will personally go to the trophy parade wearing a thong painted with the American flag on my chest. I will have the American flag, the stars here on one side, and I will have the stripes. And I will walk,
you have to go.
I will have I will paint my whole body, and only wear a thong, and I will walk the whole trophy parade.
You have to go through.
They'll probably have a trophy tour. I will.
Dude.
I think the U.S. are getting rooped. But if they manage to win the entire World Cup, I will personally do what I just said. And it's on camera, and it's going to be posted. So.
No, John. I have a good proposition for you, bro. By the way, if Brazil wins the World Cup, our lives will be changed forever. None of us have ever experienced a Brazil World Cup. That being said, John, I have a proposition for you. If Brazil win the Hexa this year, they win the six. You know, Neymar ends up retiring, and third best player of all time confirmed. You got to start an OnlyFans, and you have to make it public to your Instagram account. You have to make it public to your Instagram account. Whatever you post, it doesn't matter, but you have to open it and you have to post it on your story that you have an OnlyFans on.
I'll be the first subscriber.
You have to post a thirst trap too.
No.
You don't have to post anything.
Just post a thirst trap with
Just go with the
Buy
R9 haircut, bro.
Dude, what, bro? No,
Dude, 'cause here's the
you're gonna
thing.
win.
Dude, that's
Because if I did the R9 haircut out of nowhere, like that wouldn't make any like I feel like if there's a time and place to do the R9 haircut, it'd be after Brazil win the World Cup. You feel me?
Yeah.
Or let's say if there's a crazy World Cup, if there's a crazy haircut that comes out of the Brazilian national team, I would probably do that one because that'd make the most sense. But
I'll dye my hair.
if not, it'll probably be I'll either I've bleached my hair before though, so like I'm not even like that's not even crazy for me. I was planning on actually bleaching before the World Cup.
Yeah,
But,
we should bleach our hair anyways,
I'll-
to be honest.
I'll do the R9.
Jared, why are you laughing? That's a normal Brazilian thing, by the way.
No.
I've done it before. I don't know. I can't find any pictures right now. I don't think so.
You guys are just trying to cock block me, dude. What is this?
I'm gonna do
I
a
can show you guys
filter to
later,
see
though.
how it is. Wait, you
If USA
didn't?
wins the World Cup, I'll fucking run to West Virginia naked. That's what I'll do.
Bro, like I said, I'll go to the trophy
Pedro.
parade in the thong with with my whole body painted.
All right,
My
we have to
whole
end the
body,
pod.
like the American
We have to end the pod. All right,
Yeah.
let's end the pod.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This was episode 7.
Thank you, boys.
Appreciate you guys for watching. The next episode will be post World Cup, maybe after the first 2 games. We don't know. Pedro, shout out your Instagram, please, and your TikTok.
Instagram is Pedro Talks Football. I haven't uploaded in like a week or so. I think over a week. but
Get on the
I'll
grind.
get back
Get on the
that.
grind. Yeah, Jared.
Yeah.
Turf Dice on X, hockey,
And last-
Buddy Talk.
And
Yo,
last but not
I
least,
made
Mr. John.
Brazil team of John. Yo, don't follow Jared. He's a Caps fan. Like the worst team in the NHL. So shit.
All right, we're
so
ending
much
this.
better, bro. Legacy wise, so much better.
All right.